Here I am in the FreeCAD file for the 2x4 hangers. I have opened a view to be split screen for the model itself right here, and the spreadsheet is open over here, which has the measurements that calculate everything for the model. So right now I have it modified. I have the measurements creating this. So the board width is 1.5 inches, and the board length would be for 3.5 inches, but this I decided to only calculate this number by half, and I don't know why it's adding the very, very small measurements, but it is for some reason. So if you for some reason would want this longer, it's in the sketch, which I guess I don't want to open right now, but it has that as a parameter that you could edit. But I believe I have it set up pretty good so that as long as you're changing the measurements within reason, the model won't break too much. Usually, I found these two board measurements to be most effective when changing. Say we want to go really high and make it for a 4x4, so these measurements would be equal. We see that the top has changed, so could clip onto a 4x4. However, it might affect the strength given that the top part right here is a little bit longer, but in my testing, I'm putting weights of about 20 to 25 pounds on it comfortably. Now I want to change it to 1x4, which we could clip it on right there. And we do have the option for a screw. We don't necessarily need that if you want to freely slide. I added it in there as an extra option to keep the the hook in place if you want to. And I should have measured that correctly, so you have a 1/4 inch hole for here so that your wood screws will be able to fit in there cleanly. If for some reason you said, I don't need the screw and I don't want the hole, just come up here and change that to your showing view, and you can either do Control E or go up to File and export it there, and then you'll have your STL there. But we're going to keep the hole because we're okay with it for right now. So, yeah, 1/4 of an inch or 6.35 millimeters is the hole diameter right now. We don't really change these much. Same with the chamfers, unless we want to change the look, which see how it updates with that, and in my opinion, that does not look nearly as good. We add the chamfer right here, so that it should be great for countersunk, to add your screws and cleanly, and then still have the area for a hook that's right now meant for a 2x4's width. You could also change the width on that too, and the hook length on that, so you could make it really small if you wanted to, or you could make it not that large. Oh, looks like I broke something, so let's see if we can just go. Oh, what just happened? I think I broke something. Good thing I saved before I edited it. That's a thing that I found with FreeCAD, which is totally expected because, after all, it is freeware. And it's constantly in development, and it's something that you have to be safe with, but that also probably was a little bit my fault of being too risky. So I'll be back when I reopen it. I am now back with the reopened FreeCAD after I made some changes and broke the file, which is important to note. If you ever do have a problem, always have a backup in FreeCAD, whether it be your own local copy or what's going to be on my printables page with this model. So there always will be something to go back to this state. But like I was saying, you could change any number of things, but you can't go too heavy without the model. What happened right there is it probably did not make sense to what was recomputing. So it broke, and the computer was just struggling to get it back to where it was, and that's totally expected. So let's see if I can bump this up to, what am I at? 1.5 inches. Let's see if we can go to 2 inches. And we can go up to 2 inches. We could play around with this and see where we could go. And I'm gonna change this right now so that it'll make it easier to calculate it based on millimeters or metric system or imperial, whichever one we want to use. I am from the United States, which commonly does use the imperial system, but as I'm designing in CAD, I'm finding that the metric system is so much better. Let's try 3 inches long. And it doesn't break. So I'm not going to go any higher because at 100, I broke it. So I don't know why that adding the extra inch doesn't seem to work, but now we know that that about 3 inches is our maximum for this right now. But I'm going to put it back to being able to put a simple 2x4 on this ledge if we needed to. But what I have intended for these hooks is something to just quickly and easily grab onto the joist in the garage, and all those things that you don't use super often or are out of season. Like here we have to shovel snow a lot in winter. In summer we wouldn't use that shovel, so having something that would be able to hang it up out of sight and out of mind is a lot cleaner for organization. So I'm intending to print a lot of these hooks and find uses for them other than that, because my garage is a mess and will have quite a few uses for them. It also could be changing the sizes. I know the 4x4 one I had would be useful for quick little things. I have a swing set built in the backyard, and just doing something like a little clip like this would help organize a lot of the backyard stuff. I'm not intending to hang anything too heavy on this. I think after my stress test, I'm comfortable with about 20 to 25 pounds of weight on them. Whether they can do more than that, I don't think I would try to go any farther than that. I'm printing most of these in PLA, but my climate never really gets too hot where warping is too much of a concern. So if you do not live in any of the northern states, that you very well will want to consider that when printing these. So I'm going to change this back to what it was for 2x4, and basically then save it and have this file ready to upload to printables when it's all done. And so this is what you should be seeing once you, if you open up the FreeCAD file that you can get on printables. Hopefully I did a good enough job explaining how you could change a measurement within the spreadsheet in the FreeCAD file and affect the dimensions of the entire hook. I genuinely appreciate you watching the video. If you learned something or enjoyed the video, please send me a like or comment. Thank you and have a blessed day.